Call the meeting to order.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lima,
Here.
Davidson,
Here.
Miller,
Yes.
Hughes, here, Nichols,
Yes.
Reinor,
Here.
Walty.
Here. Minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved. So approved. Physical officers report.
Currently, in June, there's $2,020,415.09 in all funds, and in the general fund, there's $383,721.08.
Those were read and approved. I'm sorry.
So
Those
moved.
were read. Motion to make was made by,
So moved.
second by,
Second.
pay bills as presented.
Davidson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hughes,
Yes.
Nichols,
Yes.
Reinor,
Yep.
Walty.
We have no guests. Committee reports.
Utility and street. We had a meeting on June 10th at 4:30 p.m. It's called order. Attending was Administrator, Fiscal Officer Miller Davis. I was absent, but did call in ahead of time. After sharing the concerns raised during our last council meeting, the committee reconvened to review the issues related to the rate setting more thoroughly. Following careful consideration, the committee recommends a 25% reduction to the proposed residential rate increase. We believe this adjustment strikes with a reasonable balance, allowing village to address its fiscal or financial needs and complete necessary projects, while also remaining mindful of the impacts of our residents. It is important to note that the village has gone too long without significant funding, and action is necessary to ensure long-term financial stability and to bring the village back to the black instead of being in the red. This session was done during that meeting. The meeting was adjourned at 4:55.
Any questions? Okay, next council. Committee.
I think I'm the only one for Park Ad Hoc Committee. July 25th, obviously, is fast approaching, just a little over a month and a few days, for our park dedication ceremony. The Ohio 250 picnic is happening. You should have had a flyer in front of your chair today about the pediatric walk for a cure that's being sponsored by the Lions Club that will kick the event off. Then we'll have, we're going to have a tour of the new Gold Star Memorial golf cart tour, so that people who can't walk will have a way to go with it. It'll be, those golf carts will be driven by people that are familiar with what's going on with that and be able to give some commentary about that event. That's happening at the same time in conjunction with the walk. Then we're having a dedication ceremony. Senator Susan Manchester will be speaking. We have two county commissioners, Mr. Spencer and Mr. Bumbauer, are coming, and I believe, is it Spencer who's speaking, Aaron?
Yeah,
Last we spoke, Mr. Spencer would be speaking. Also, we have Mr. Ralph Reynolds from the state level, POWMIA. He's chair of that committee. He will be speaking on behalf of the Gold Star Memorial. So we have quite the event planned. We have a food truck and Margie Buckeye. Buckland Bistro food truck will be there to provide food for the event. Ohio Muffins will be playing at 1 o'clock. And we do have full rosters for the men's and women's teams, so we're good to go on that. Jennifer Sutherland, just let me know, the committee doesn't even know this yet, she went to Texas Roadhouse and got 100 bags of peanuts from Texas Roadhouse to pass out during the old-time baseball game, so we'll have, hopefully get some kids to hawk some peanuts
Wow.
to do that. So bring your lawn chairs and watch the old-time baseball game at 1 o'clock. But we've got tent rentals. We had a lot of people step up in the community. They're donating things and doing things to make this event happen. Blue Star Mothers will be there, and they'll have a tent to talk about their organization and how they represent families who have current service members in active duty, either domestically or abroad. And so we just did a presentation. Tom Hudson, Marilyn Shaw, and myself did a presentation at the library to talk about the event. And there's going to be a Corvette. Evidently, there's a gentleman, Bill Compton, out of Troy, Ohio. He has a Corvette, new model Corvette, that's wrapped with the 250 celebration. It's completely wrapped with graphics about 250, the American 250.
Picture has on my news,
Yeah, and so it's going to be there, roped off for people to see and to talk with them about how that process is and what that's going on. The other thing that I want to bring up at this particular time, if I can, Mayor, I don't know. I was approached by Marilyn Shaw, evidently July 8th at 6 p.m., 250 years ago, the Declaration was first read on the steps of whatever that was first read in public. So as part of the statewide 250 anniversary events, every other community in the county but us has hopped on board, and maybe we haven't because we didn't know, I didn't know, and will be within their community reading at 6 p.m. on July 8th the Declaration of Independence. So I'll throw that out there to the committee, to the council. If there are 3 council members that would like to do that, certainly I can help coordinate that. If not, I do have community members who said they are willing to do that. But since we are the only community in the county, I really think we should try to coordinate something to be involved in that. So just throw that out there. You guys can think about it and let me know what you want to do. But if do anybody have any questions about the event?
Where would we do it? Where would we do it?
We talked a little bit at the presentation, the library. There at the library where they have the Darlene, I should be reading, the bench in between the Methodist Church and the library. There's a grassy area with a sidewalk. That would be where we would have it, I think. Certainly we could do it here, but we don't have the seating or standing locations. We don't have parking. That would be a good location because it would be parking to be seen from the road. If it rains or it's inclement weather, I could have the key to the library. We could go inside and do it. So that was kind of the thought when we talked about it just now at the presentation. So.
Also, during that, we have a bike auction.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, yes.
We want the kids to know about the bike raffle. I believe you sent that through the school.
Okay, yeah, right now, we have 16.
I believe 16.
16
I know
plus,
I just got a
there's going to be more, but there will be bike auctions. We'll be giving away at least 16 bicycles to kids. And then there'll also be, the committee kind of decided, well, you could either have a new bike or you could turn on the splash pad. So we'll give away 16 bikes, or ever how many bikes we have, and then the next ticket we draw will probably be the kid who gets to turn on the splash pad, whatever how they want to do it. So that's it.
They can sign up there. I have tickets for
Yeah,
there.
there'll be registration for that. We'll have a registration tent. Actually, Carrie Motter and Cynthia Douglas from the Nazarene Church in New Hampshire are going to run the registration in the morning, and we'll be able to do some of that.
I'll do it all the time.
Yeah, and
We
you
have
can, that's
volunteers coming for the bike portion.
but for the bike portion, but there'll be registrations for everything. That's what the committee's doing. So that's it. And you can report on whatever at the committee meetings if you know.
Yeah, no, you're good. I just wanted to remind you.
That's fine. No, I skipped over it. That's fine.
Yeah.
My eyes went from here to there.
Police report?
Council has my report. I would add that all 4 individuals in that graffiti case have pled not guilty. Their next pretrials are in late July. The one subject who had a warrant for arrest was actually served a summons and the warrant was recalled. All 4 individuals have been ordered by the court to stay out of Waynesfield as terms of their bond. Should they be located in Waynesfield while their case is pending, they will be arrested for a bond violation. As my report indicated, I am requesting council to take up 2 issues for the police department, the WG Schools Resolution and Memorandum of Understanding for the 2026-2027 school year and the resolution for the Stop CSAM Act of 2025. I believe that's in new business, so I won't talk on that a lot right now. The only other thing I would mention is that now that summer's here, I've been busy no matter which shift I've worked. It's clearly summertime, and our call volume usually increases as summer is no different. It does appear the entire county is being impacted in the same way, though, along those lines. This week, we have seen already, an increase in traffic as State Route 117 between Westminster and Holton is closed for construction. The detour route comes right through Waynesfield, so if you notice an increase, especially in semi-traffic, that is why. We did actually have a crash just north of town just a few hours ago that probably would not have happened had that construction not been going on. So it's going to be a busy week.
Questions today? Nothing. Village Administrator?
The council has my report as well. I had a couple highlights on things. We do have, as in the report, electric poles and light heads ordered, looking about a month out to get them in. So that took some time with all the variations of everything that's there, get them in to match what we have as close as we could get. It looks like it's going to be pretty close to what we have. Water sewer rates, we'll talk about that once we get to the old business. And then the park, if anybody's had a chance to go out there, it looks a lot different. Mother Nature has worked with us. We've got almost all the grass planted. Most of the grass is up other than a couple pieces we just got to hit the last portion. We took the fence down off the playground, and everything looks good there so far. One thing I was going to ask council, the splash pad is done, it's ready, it's strawed and seeded, it's not up as good as everything else is, what kind of time frame, but when would council like to turn that on? Do we want to wait till the 25th of July, or do we're going to miss a lot of summer on that? Because whenever council decides to go ahead and turn that on, we could put something out on social media saying that, hey, it's done, it's active, and go from there.
Is the seed, is the grass enough that we're not gonna end up with mud puddles, or does that all drain into the splash pad?
All the splash pad drains into itself.
Okay.
So well, it should not drain off of the pad.
Because some of that grass isn't up yet, but.
It just got a hint of green to it,
Mhm.
but they're calling 90s next week, so it'll happen very fast. So it'd be my suggestion to go ahead and turn it on, and it is what it is. If there's mud on there, it's water, it'll wash down.
I'm not worried so much about mud on there as killing the grass that we've got planted.
There's sidewalks to it, but
Yeah.
sidewalks are only as good as they're walked on, so I think we're taking stride and see what happens with it. Worst case scenario, if it's taken advantage of, then we make that decision at that point.
I think we turn it on.
Everybody else,
I was gonna say Monday.
Good to see if it's gonna work properly, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it on in the summer, was it?
You guys
Is
start.
that water recirculated?
What's that?
Is it recirculated?
No, it's pump and dump. So whatever goes out goes right down to the wastewater.
It's got a timer on it, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yep, the timer runs for, I believe, 3 or 4 minutes. I think 3.5 minutes actually, because that's what it takes to fill the bucket to get it to dump. Mike, we looked at those, and the pump and dump is a lot more attractive because the recirculating you have, it's basically a pool. It has to be chlorine checked.
Is something doesn't make sense to me if we're having problems with our water rates and everything else, why are we dumping water out of splash pad
That
on
was
sewer?
all talked about when the splash pad was talked about being put in.
Okay.
thing I noticed at the basketball court, and that one light, it's really a good 45 degrees.
Yeah, so we were going to try and, Lakeview has a hydrovac trailer. We've talked about getting hold of them, see if we can hydrovac beside it and pull it. But if that doesn't work, I think we'll just take it down.
Obviously, take that, we don't use them, do we?
No, because if everybody remembers where the new parking lot is, there is a light pole there right in the middle of it. That's just asking for trouble, so we went ahead and took it down as well. So if council's fine with taking it down, we'll just go ahead and plan on taking it down.
Will it affect the amount of light that's in the park overall, or?
They haven't been on since I've been here.
Okay, so they're
They're
non-functioning.
non-functioning.
Get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's
Get
not
rid of
functioning,
it.
get rid of it.
You know?
Unless you think we should put another one up.
There's not,
There's
again, for
nothing.
5 years, we haven't used lights out there, so,
Okay.
it was a hard time just trying to trace where the wires were to make sure that we were
Okay.
killing the right thing when we took the other one down, so. Yeah,
I
it
mean,
counts.
technically, no one's supposed to be in the park after 9:30 anyways.
Right.
Right,
Although light, if we're gonna put security cameras up, light is important.
we should be in for it though.
Yeah.
They don't need those. They shouldn't at least.
Crosswalk, pretty neat. One, going south, now, we need to get that blue car off the street. Because going south, that Lincoln
Blue
Light.
car on the one that's to the west,
Yeah,
that's,
they got trim sitting in the park in the driveway, and one out in the street.
the one, I know at least one of them doesn't have a license plate on it, because I walked by it the other day and I was like, tires flat, no tag.
And that blue car got it blocked, seeing it going south. I come into town, you can see it quite a ways away.
Mhm. Part of what blocks it too, Bob, is there's a light pole.
Yeah,
in front of it.
yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, you're right there, yeah.
At least you see the flashing though.
Yeah, you see the flash.
Yeah, you can see it like.
You definitely see.
And I'm happy as vibrant as the white has stayed. Usually, it's warmer temperatures and that far from the road and has deteriorated half of the color of the white, so. And as we get time, the weather permits, we'll probably go around and start doing all the other crosswalks in town.
Mhm.
But it does look nice, the sign is nice morning.
That's right.
Mhm. It gets your attention there, I know.
Yeah.
Me coming from the north headed south,
Uh-huh.
you see those a mile out,
Mhm.
and that's during daylight.
And that's gonna slow traffic down a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah.
And even if the kids don't use the crosswalk, at least the cars are slowing down.
Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay, mayor's report, the mayor's court report, the $31 is deposited in the general fund, the mayor's court account for the month of May.
I have a question about Mayor's Court, Mayor. I know we've been doing this for many, many years, and I know the chief is doing a great job on maintaining, tickets, but have we ever done a study to see if they're making money anymore? Or if we're just... I'm just curious, have we ever done a study to see if we're actually making money having a Mayor's Court?
We look at it every year,
Okay,
and we have not lost any money.
okay, okay.
I'm speaking as administrator, not as someone that writes tickets, but, actually, I just spoke with the clerk tonight, she was in for the meeting, and the number that you see this month is not reflective of an average month, as you see every month, but when we look at what we pay out through, she gets paid $5,000 a year. flat rate.
I'm not questioning that,
But
I'm just questioning the
But as far as
overall.
the total money, yeah, we do not lose money.
Okay.
I didn't think it was supposed to be a moneymaker,
No,
mayor's court.
well, in truth, it doesn't make money, because when you look at the
Well,
cost of doing business, so to speak, whether it be maintaining the police cruisers, whether it be, maintaining the streets, maintaining whatever that funding is used for, is offsetting the cost of doing the business. I mean, you'll never write enough tickets to fund the police department or to fund a project like that, yeah.
The mayor's court's not.
But what I'm saying,
But-
it's not intended to be a moneymaker.
Correct. Correct. The idea is to keep the funds, I mean, there's certain funds that have to go to county and the state, but to offset the cost of doing the
Right.
business to begin with, the enforcement.
Thank you,
Yeah.
we've been doing it, and no one's ever explained that to me, Mike, so thank you for explaining.
Yeah.
It was
When we-
never meant to be a way of funding the department or anything else.
Yeah.
It was, meant to offset the cost of doing the business.
Yeah. Yeah, in reality, in 2010, I think is when we brought Mayor's Court back. What we looked at is when a ticket was written, it would go to All Blaze County, and the county would get 75% of the ticket, and the state would get 25% of it. I'm using rough numbers here. And we said, you know, between driving from Waynesfield to Walpock to drop off the tickets, going through the court process, all that kind of stuff, how can we look at Mayor's Court, or how can we look at offsetting our costs to, you know, minimize the number of trips we go to Walpock, to fighting the court cases, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And so I did a proposal then to, at the time Mike was mayor, and said, you know, should we look at doing this as a way to save money, in a sense? And we started doing our homework and figured, and it's done well.
Thank you, that's the first time I've asked and the first good explanation, so I appreciate that. I think that's important for the community to know why we do that.
It's important to mention, and this sometimes gets overlooked, but the fine structure that Mayor's Court uses is actually lower than municipal court. So when someone gets cited into Mayor's Court for a traffic violation, it's significantly less than what it costs in the county. So the violator actually gets a bit of a break as well.
Thank you. Always learn something new.
Okay. Old business. Right, ordinance 26-6-1, and ordinance for setting water rates and fees for the village of Waynesfield, and replenishing inconsistent ordinance.
Before we get to that, I have a question. I know that we want to pass this before January. Okay. We did not have the actual ordinance in front of us to read and review at our last meeting. In the past, the council has said we want the ordinance before we start doing something. We have time to do it correctly. In my mind's eye, this should be the first reading, because
I do agree with that,
because we have the ordinance already.
with the time frame we have, the timeline we have, that still gets us 3 readings in 60 days, and it's still before the 20th.
And we still can do it in January, but we're doing it according to the way it's supposed to be done. So I would like to propose and make a motion that this be the first reading of both these ordinances.
That makes sense.
I think a lot more needs to be discussed about where we're going with this. That's my view.
I agree, Mike, but we have an ordinance, so we either make a motion to have a first reading and then discuss for the next 3 months, or we put it off and we don't get it done. And in my mind's eye, we have to start the process. Now, it may not look like this when we get done with it, but we have to start the process. That's my opinion. I don't know what other people think. So there's a motion on the floor, and it dies for lack of a second, or needs a second.
You give it the first.
I did. I made a motion to make this the first reading of ordinance 26-6-1.
Second.
Davidson,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hume,
Yes.
Nichols.
I wasn't really ready for the vote yet, but,
Oh,
okay. There's some issues with it.
I should look through it.
From the perspective of there's errors in the exhibit. I went through it, I compared it. There are, one of the biggest errors, and I can share with Sarah, there's some numerical errors, but the biggest error is on, would be page A5. They didn't number the pages, I hate that, but it's on A5, section I. It talks about each institution water consumer outside. We don't have a category outside, we have an inside category.
For,
Institutions.
and if you remember, we were going to put that in there in case it ever
It
comes.
doesn't talk about the inside at all.
Okay,
okay?
so it only says the outside.
It only said outside,
Okay.
there's nothing related, and when I looked at the proposals that the Utilities Committee gave us in our packet and compared it to this document, there is no institution water inside, and the numbers that are under I are actually there's no outside, the numbers for I are actually inside.
So basically, they just need to say
It
inside.
needs to say inside, because we don't have it outside, and there's nothing that would be in this rate study that would say what we're charging institutions inside the village, okay? The other ones, Aaron, are numbers, A1, on A1, Section A, and I can go through each one of these, you guys, I'll just do it. A1, Section A, I had a question on the definition. Commercial property defines, in the third line, it includes industrial. Should the commercial property include industrial when we have a separate definition for industrial property?
Any question for the solicitor?
Okay, I think it needs to be cleared up, because then which category do I fall in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then in section B, in the verbiage, in the second line, it talks about the minimum charge. Let me see, wait a minute. 1,000 gallons, 258. Wait a minute, I'm looking at water. Make sure I'm looking at the right one. It took me forever to go through this thing. Section A2, page A2, I'm sorry, not the graph. Section B in the graph on page A2. For each additional in year 30, it has 285, and the proposed rate was 282. I know it's only 3 cents, but if we're being consistent with what we had, then we need to be consistent. Page A3, section F. Wayne Township Fire Department, third line talks about a fee of $13.18, and in the proposal it was $13.58. I think that's a typo, isn't it? And like I said, I have all this written down.
So,
And then the last thing was the inside-outside institution water thing on that particular exhibit. I'll pass that over to them. And I still have concerns, and I know, I thank you all for looking at it and bringing it down. My biggest question, to be honest with you, as I looked at the numbers, is just explain to me why it's so front-loaded.
So it's why it's a what?
Front-loaded. Why can't we extend this over the 5 years? Why do we need to have basically a 27% increase in the first year of 2027? What expenditures are we going to have that are going to require us to do that large of an increase initially, and not, at least the residential? I hate to say it, but the other people I understand, but the residential, I just have a real problem with it being so front-loaded.
Well, in one of the graphs that when Melanie was here, she showed what the expenditure, what the lifespan of those. And some of them are educated guesses, if you will, because as most of us know, you never know when a pump's going to go bad, even with the maintenance that is done on it. So it might say it has 4 years left on it, and it might last 10. It may say it has 10, and it only lasts 2. You know, not having those funds in there to build that fund up. Otherwise, then you're loaning money at
Yeah, I don't think she gave us the chart with the life expectancy of stuff. She showed it to us,
Okay,
but I don't think it's in here.
okay.
Okay. And again, that is still my concern, is that it's so heavily front-loaded. And, when I did the numbers, and this is based on the new stuff, I did talk with Randy Carter. Randy and I went through a bunch of stuff with the old stuff. I went through what with the new stuff here myself, but residential is gonna go combined water and sewer, a monthly charge of $54.50 to $74.75, so that's a $20 a month increase, and that's on residential. Institutional and the rest of them, I understand. I mean, there was issues with industrial that we weren't charging them what they needed to be charged. But that's a huge jump. I mean, that's
Where did you get that amount of increase?
when I get the increase, I took the residential sewer charge, the difference from
$9?
no, from 26 to 27. The difference between residential is $29.50 and $43. So the new charge for residential is $43 for sewer and $31.75 for water.
That's for a 2-year jump.
That's in 27.
Yeah, it's 27.
That's in 27. Yeah. And so the total bill in 27 for a resident, the base bill, is going to be $74.75. That's based off your chart. And then the next year, it only goes up like $6. So the difference, the first year is $20.25 a month, or $243 for the year. That's a lot for a resident in our village. And I'm just wondering if we can't extend that out, even if we extended it out, increase that big increase over the next 2 years would be better than trying to do it this first year. And like I said, I greatly appreciate the committee going back and taking a look, but I just feel like there needs to be maybe a harder look. And I'm more than happy to share this spreadsheet with you. It's your numbers in a concise way that I could read it.
Well, it seems to me like we're not charging enough in certain places and going to charge way more in other places as this goes forward. And, you know, some of the questions I have pretty good ideas on different things, but, let's say, how many water meters are not installed or inoperable at this point?
They all work, and they're all installed.
All work and all installed.
The only ones that are not installed, but they're working, are the over an inch meter. The ones at the school and the factory, the 1.5, 2 inch meters, because they are very expensive. I think there might be 1 or 2 properties that we have to either take a pit, we're waiting on time to get a pit done, because we can't even crawl space, or it's been carpeted over. And those are on folks that have a minimum bill, avoid adding minimum bill, even when the old meters work. But I would say out of the residential, there's 99.8% that are replaced.
So where did our increases over the years come from? I mean, I realize that there's always going to be increases in cost, but it seems like we went from 2013 to 2026, and now we're raising rates by a third. Something don't seem right here.
Well, I do know, and there was a comment made about the rate, that this not being addressed by some council members who've only been on council for 4 years. I do know that when we have sat and talked with Aaron, at least over the last 4 years, we have tried to take this piecemeal and try to look at it and say, look, 2013, electric wasn't touched since 2013.
Right.
So when we put in the new electric meters, we had a rate study done for the electric meters, and we had to increase that. We knew, and when I say we, I'm saying the council, that I know some of you are new, but we knew, the council at that time knew that we were going to have to do a rate study for water and sewer. We knew we were going to have an increase. It hasn't been done. It needs to be done. I'm not saying this doesn't. I agree with you, Mike. I mean, this is a lot. This is a lot for everybody.
Yeah,
But-
well,
and I'm not in
and I
100%
see
agreement.
different points here going on where we're throwing water away on a splash pad and things like that, and, we're not charging certain people the right amount, and then you take people that use less than 2,000 gallons, should they just blow the rest of it out the hose on the ground, so they get their money's worth? You know, this is,
Well, my question, and I don't know, Mike, maybe you can help me with this. What was the agreement with industry that they were charged? Was there an abatement agreement with industry that we don't know about?
when, the factory first came, they were paying very little, we had the board public affairs then, and they finally did increase the cost, after, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And then I think council increased it again, I don't know, somewhere in the,
And they weren't even paying a base rate. I mean, I know they're paying by the gallon.
Right, not that one, but they never had a base rate.
They've never had a base rate.
right.
Was that part of the abatement? What was the agreement that they didn't have a base
I
rate?
don't recall the abatement with the village. There was, you know, with, you know, the taxes and that, but nothing to do with the water, sewer, or anything like that. Because we were told that they wasn't going to be using much water at that time, and then we found out later, wow, they're using a whole lot more than
Well,
what
sure
we
they
were
did.
told.
Process.
Yeah.
So, you know, I for one am happy to see that there's going to be some parity in the charges that, because we've been, I mean, I know industry's been paying a lot, because they pay by gallon.
Mhm.
But it doesn't look fair to the residents to say, you gotta pay this base rate regardless of how many gallons you use. And to say to industry, well, no, we're not gonna charge you a base rate regardless of. So I'm glad to see that being addressed. I think I figured out why we did a separate fire department. And I think that's because we didn't want them to fall under commercial, because it would be more expensive for them.
From what I understand, the research that I've done, it was put at that rate because they weren't metered and they have a large meter, and that's how they're going to get their meter back over time.
Okay. And do they have, and this is my edification, I think they do, they have a separate meter for when they fill a tanker.
Mhm.
So they're not charged sewer off of that
Correct.
meter.
Well, and the way it was supposed to be, was they pay the rate for the building, and they pay a rate for filling pools and so on.
Right, and they don't do that anymore.
But as far as any water used for fire department use, it's nothing.
Nothing.
Most generally, they fill off the hydrant when we come back. And I asked Albert to give me an idea of how much gallons are used for reporting, but it's not for chart, for building.
So filling a tanker doesn't cost them anything. Okay. Okay. And I do believe they've stopped filling pools because it was just too expensive, and the manpower.
Right.
They just don't have the manpower to do it. Okay.
When council, and I brought in front of you, the water meters, some of us were here, some of us weren't, but we talked about not raising the rates until we knew how much gallons we were sending out. Now we know we're sending out, that's why we're doing the rate study. Now we know there's still there's not a discrepancy there anymore, but we're producing water at a cost from 2005. No business can sustain 2005 prices on what it costs to do it today, whether you call it inflation or just price of doing business. That's where these numbers come in. To Mike, to your point, from 2013 to here, that's what's happened.
Yeah.
You can only take out savings account so many times.
Well,
before
and I can see an increase. I don't have a problem with that,
Mhm.
but not to the magnitude that we're looking at in the next year. All at once, like, wow, where did we fall off the truck here?
Mhm.
What would be the negative impact to the village, Aaron, if we're doing a total of 27 and 8, so 30 am I doing that right? 35% over the next 2 years?
I don't know what the numbers
That's all my numbers are,
I
okay.
don't know what the numbers are.
Why couldn't we split that and do half of 35, so 15, 17% the first year and 17% in 28, and then we'd still have the 65, but we'd be spreading it out over 2 years. What would be the negative impact to the village and the village budget of doing that?
You're gonna be, at the end of the day, you're kicking the can down the road. You can build it fast, or you can build it over time.
But
If you have-
kicking the can down the road, we've got people who are living currently with credit cards because that's the way it is right now. And it's not kicking the can down the road for them, it's making a difference between them surviving and not surviving.
The village within 3 years of working off credit cards.
And I understand,
If
that
we
was my
can't-
question.
If we can't produce, if we have a major malfunction, we don't know, we do our best as operators to make sure the preventive maintenance is done. But if you have a well pump go out, or something catastrophic, well, if a well goes dry, you have to drill a new well. That's money that's supposed to be set aside, that's not there. That as an operator and administrator is what I worry about. Yes, you can learn it, but you're only, if you can get funded for it. If you go for certain amounts of funding, as we spoke in the past, you aren't gonna get funded because you're not charging what they see as needed. So the worst case scenario would be, we could fall into EPA hands where they're gonna come in and take the plans over if we can't afford to run them. Or you're getting funding at a lot higher rate of interest, that if you had it, you wouldn't be paying that interest. Those are the balancing acts.
The other question I had, if you look at residential in and residential out and commercial out, is there a reason why residential and commercial, they're close, I guess they're not. Never mind, I looked at the numbers wrong. Commercial out's actually paying more than residential. On her study, and maybe you guys on the committee can answer this question for me, on her study and in the reports that you guys gave me, it talks about net cash position after funding reserves, the projections, okay? And it gives amounts across. Does that accumulate over 5 years, or does that roll into, does the $39,396 that's projected in a net cash position in 2027, does that go then in the following year into revenue? Or where does that money, is that rainy day fund, what is that?
It depends on what line item it's under. I'm not sure which one you're looking at.
Are you looking at the projections?
Where does that go?
I think
It goes in each, should be, if you flip up here, it doesn't say what fund it would go into? No.
No.
Sarah has you have all that. Does she have that in the packet?
Because, does that accumulate, I mean, do we end up with, is that a rainy day fund, or is that money then going to pay salaries and expenditures, or
There's
what?
one line for salaries, there's one line for equipment, Sarah, how many more lines will you end up making once this is all said and done?
I have it, I don't have it in front of me right now, but I think we're making like 3 or 4.
Different funds that we don't have.
Yeah, that would be
And then
for like a savings and
No, I'm not saying,
emergency
I just
fund.
want to know.
No,
I just want to know.
there's
So
two different ones that are, there's one in each.
You could look at it, savings or the same thing.
Cause she asked
Some
me,
of them, not all of them. Some of them, you have employees coming out of it, some have chemicals coming out of it, Some of them are always getting pulled off of it, some of them are not getting pulled off until it's built high enough where you need to pull $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 out of it, where you don't have anything in that fund currently, you'd have something in there by that time.
So this 39,396 eventually goes into the appropriations budget, into line items that you've created for different funds.
yeah, so either they'll build throughout the years, and if we need to pull from them, we can, or we save. And then save,
So you've created new line items in the appropriations budget for this money to go into in case you have those events.
When you
Yeah.
have those again.
When-
That would be
When we have
only
those
for those,
events.
you couldn't use it, you know what I mean, it'd be only for, like if there's a water or the sewer, where like we can't just pull out of it.
Right.
To Sarah's point, if we had $30,000 in that account, and we had something that cost $50,000, we could pull out another line
No,
to add to that, because it's all water.
Right, and I understand that from the appropriations
Yep.
budget. And I just didn't, I could not tell from the documents that you gave us where this money was going. And how it was, what the plan was for its use.
Mhm.
Because I think that's important
Yep.
to understand.
Because again, as she spoke that night, whether it's water or sewer, your plan is 30 years, life expectancy of 30 years, and then you don't have a lot of upgrades. And most generally, you have a 30-year loan. So as soon as you get one paid off, you've got the other one coming behind it. And if it's a structure, you don't have, it won't be as big, you still have equipment to replace inside of it. And the goal is to be self-sustained, to where at least a good portion, to where have that money saved up, so you're not loaning it. Because sometimes there's not what your grants out there for it. They're great when they're there, but if they're not there, and you don't have it, then you're back to paying that interest. And the water and sewer and electric, they're all accounts that should be having money in those funds for those things.
And you talked a little bit about meters earlier in conjunction with something else, but we don't have a meter rate for water. Is included in this increase a meter charge?
We did not have meter charge on the water side or the sewer side. Part of building those funds and having that there is in 25 years when we have to replace meters, you have that money in there for that. It's not spelled out just for meters. And that's pretty traditional for water and sewer to do that way. We could put a water meter fee on there.
Well, I don't think we need to add more. I'm just trying to figure out if what you're saying is, part of the rationale and part of the rate study and the increase was that we're gonna need to replace the, what was it, $250,000 we spent for water meters 2 years ago?
I don't think it was quite that high, but I don't remember.
Maybe 150,000, was somewhere in between that. So that we're recuperating that money and looking forward to purchasing new ones in.
That's where the flat rate comes from.
That's
Flat
what
rate, the
that's
flat
what I'm
rate,
saying.
the jump of the flat rate is paying for your meters, your pipes in the ground, your fire hydrants, your pumps, everything that is on the schedule of replacement. We don't have to spell out on the bill that 2% of your bill is going towards this. We take that into our numbers and our line items and put that in there, so that when the time comes, you have that all built in there.
Okay. And my final comment here, and I can say this to you in public, I've said it to you in private. We have a water leak that's running like a faucet into a storm drain on Ohio Street. It's been going on for 4 years, at least. If we're gonna do this to people, we need to fix that water leak, because we are just running water into the sewer line.
We've had a company in twice, with
And
devices.
it's in that driveway somewhere, and if you guys have to dig it up to find it, then that's what we need to do, but we can't, I don't know how we can in one hand say, I'm gonna raise and meter every ounce of water a resident uses, and walk by a storm drain where we're letting, as a village, water run like a faucet. I don't understand that, and I understand what you're saying, but I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Well, in reality, if you go start poking holes, you'll eventually find something. With the destruction you're going to do in that, it could be out in the road. We don't know where it is. We've got the experts in twice, and they can't pinpoint anything, they don't hear anything, which is very odd, because they've used the company before, and they're very good at finding stuff. The other thing I'll tell you, as an industry standard, 15 to 25% water loss is normal for a municipality or a governing body.
I just have a hard time raising rates and having residents walk past and see us not addressing issues or not being able to address issues.
Can I ask a question? We kinda went from the 100 down to 75 and 25. Would you be more satisfied if we went over, instead of 2 years, over 3 years, 50, 25, and 25 raises?
I don't know where you're getting 50%, Bob. I don't understand what your numbers you're talking about. Are you talking percentages, or are you talking dollars?
Yeah, see, original, she got, like 100% raise or something right there, not quite.
100% raise was what she gave that money.
Now she dropped down to 75 and
From what she
25,
gave us.
over 2 years instead of 1 year.
Mhm.
What if we went 50, 25, and 25 over 3 years? Would that be,
It'd be better. I would have to see the numbers. I mean, I know we have to do.
I mean, you
something.
drop it down another dollar or two each year?
Well, I think we need to come up with a better plan on what we're gonna do before we even have a first reading, because I'm not gonna vote for something I don't know what it's gonna be.
What you're thinking on the 50, 25, and 25 instead of 75?
I have to see the
No,
numbers.
I mean, yeah, we come up, we took you up with numbers, yeah.
But more importantly, give me a second.
See, when we went from 34 down to 31.75, then we probably dropped down to maybe 29 something, the first, then 2027.
So if we look at our timeline, okay, and Aaron, do it in your head too, so help me with this, okay? If we look at our timeline, and we only have one more meeting a month, I believe we could push the first reading to August at the latest, and still make the January 27 timeline.
You need 3 readings, you can do.
August, September,
you can
October
do
would be
two,
the
We could do an emergency
You
reading.
can do an emergency.
At the
if you
first
have
reading or-
to.
Well, I personally don't think something like this should be done in an emergency. I just
I mean,
don't.
after we've had one
But here's
meeting
what
or
I'm
two
saying,
meetings.
is if we pushed it, if we said, hey, we still need to negotiate, if we had the first reading in August, the second reading in September, the third reading in October, that would leave November and December as the 60-day notice, and you could still raise the rates in January. So we have time to finesse this a little more. And to be honest with you guys, I don't like to have extra meetings, but if we need to have an extra meeting, just a special meeting, just to discuss this, then that's what we need to do. This is important, as we all know. And we all need to have solid numbers. And maybe what you need to ask her is, instead of just giving us one proposal, show us a couple that take it out even further, so that we can really look at the numbers. If it's next month, and then in August come up with something that we all agree on.
Then what's the crucial point of January 1?
Because we want to start this in the new year.
I know we would want to, but is it absolutely necessary?
Financially, if you're looking at what we have, it is absolutely necessary.
And I
Especially
would
if you're
defer
putting
to
it
the
back
committee on that. I don't know. I would defer to you guys. You know more about when it needs to happen. I'm just negotiating the process.
I personally think it needs to start January 1st, 2027,
I do too.
when the triggers will be seen in our meetings.
Mhm. But does it make sense to you that we come back in July with a couple options that we can really sink our teeth into, and maybe, I don't know, Mike, what your thoughts are, what you would be amicable to, or what you think's reasonable?
Well, I agree, we do need to raise the rates, I agree.
Mhm.
But we need to do it in a different way than we're going about it here, where it's one great big slam. We need to work it out so it works for the people of the
Absolutely.
community.
Absolutely. But we have to strike a balance between what is absolutely necessary to continue functioning and operating and having money to do that. We have to strike a balance between that and what our residents can afford over time. And I think that's where we're at. That's what we're trying to do.
we can figure out the bare minimum, but the question of the equation is, we can't figure out what people can and can't afford.
I know they can't afford this. Okay, I know that. I without a shadow of a doubt, have no doubt in my mind, the people I've talked to have said, I don't know what I'm gonna do if you raise it this much come January. So I know that is one issue. The reality is, Aaron, you're right. Nobody wants to have to afford an increase in utilities. They don't want to. I don't want to. But we gotta make it at least doable.
Mhm.
I have to come up with something that's doable.
Well, I would ask some suggestions from full council, because the committee brought it twice, and it's going back to committee for a third time, which is fine. But to just keep going back and forth with it, that's would be my only question and recommendation, to come out of council with something like,
If the total, if I did my math right, okay, and I'm not sure that I did, I'm just saying if I didn't. If over 5 years, the recommendation is to have a 65% overall increase, and I don't know what, the percentages are a whole lot different for all the other
Mhm.
categories. I'm solely looking at residential, but the other categories are a whole lot different. If the recommendation is, in that 5-year period, a 65% raise, can we do a different math, obviously, spreading it out equally over the next 5 years wouldn't generate enough money for us to be solvent from a village financial perspective, based on what the committee's saying and what you're saying. Is that a fair statement?
mm-hmm.
If we did evenly, which would be about 17%, I think, maybe over 15 to 17% over 5 years. I'm not good at doing math off the top of my head. I have to use an Excel spreadsheet, but it works.
5 years would be 13% each year.
What would it be, Bob?
5 years would be 13% each year.
13%. So we couldn't do that because that doesn't give us enough revenue in the front end to get in the black and be able to maintain what we have. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, so from current flat rate on water, it's currently $25.
Mm-hmm.
From now till 2031, it's $41.32, that's $11.33,
From now until when?
2031.
2031, the flat rate goes to $41.35. Mm-hmm.
So that's $11.33,
It's a 65% total increase.
but it's
It's only
$11.33
$11.
over 5 years.
I'm just saying.
I know, but percentages are scarce.
16.
I know.
The bigger the percentage, the smaller the numbers, a lot of times. So from the current today to 2031, that flat rate increase is $11.33.
So if we're doing $11.33 divided by 5, that's like $2 and something, right? A year. Am I doing my math right?
$2.26.
$2.26 every year, okay? If we divided it out equally. What you're proposing is $6.75 the first year, and then like a $2.40 every year after that. Can we some way?
27, 28 would be $1.70.
27, 675. The new proposal is $2.40. You're looking at the new, because it went from 31.75 to 34.75, or 34.15.
Yeah,
$2
27 to 28.
That's with the 75%, because the other one was taken all at once. Yeah, I was on the first page, not the second page. But regardless of the flat rate, this is the same numbers.
I haven't even looked at the down, because my thought on that is, I can't, as a resident, I cannot control the flat rate. But if I decide I want to conserve water and only use 2,000 gallons, then I can control the other amount. I can control that. I can't control the flat rate.
So in a new rate, you're going up $16.35 in 5 years.
$16.35.
In the residential
Yeah,
area.
that's what I have.
Yeah.
The total increase would be $16.35 at the residential area.
Yeah, the overage is
But
only
they're-
16.33.
Yeah.
We gained 2 cents.
Yeah, it's not the overall amount, it's how we're spreading it out over 5 years. And I think, Mike, you're saying the same thing I'm saying, is we front-loaded it so heavy that I think it's going to be an undue burden on the residents for that first 2027.
Can I just say something?
Sure.
As the chair of the utility committee, I'm very disappointed to hear the concerns that are taken straight to outside sources instead of coming to the committee first, one. Our meetings are posted. You all know when our meetings are here. They're open to our public. They're open to our village residents. And that's where decisions should be talked about and made when we bring everything here. No one, including members of this council, with questions and concerns were brought to us at our last meeting.
That's because it's
Not
a
one
violation.
let me finish, please.
Okay, sorry.
Margie.
Yes.
Sorry, they can't come because it's considered a quorum. Like if the council members would come to our meetings.
But they could have given us their concerns in writing before when you were here. Yes. So you guys could have given us more information that you wanted for us to go over, discuss, and get that information for you. That's why we have our committees. You guys could have come to us with that, work through the options for the village. No one showed up to that meeting. So the concerns that the village residents have, we would like them to come to our council or our specialty meetings. Because we don't have that. I've had one person come to me. One. Once I explained what this was for, they agreed and said, I understand and there's no issue with me on that. I get it. It's hard times for everyone. But we have our council, we have our committees, we all have everything set up. That would be like me coming in and coming to another meeting and just try to blow everything out of there. So me, I'm just telling you guys, I'm very disappointed in what's going on. I understand there's concerns. We all have those concerns. We're here for the community. So I just wanted to put that out there to you guys.
So the average increase over 5 years would be $3.27. Okay.
Is that enough? The first year? I mean, so we get this built back up again.
We'd have to run the numbers, Bob.
Yeah.
What's that?
We'd have to run the numbers and see
Yeah,
if
yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's where we
So,
understand and still give a good
So the
service.
new proposal will go up, only gone up $6 a month. On the new proposal.
On the 75%.
$6.75.
Yeah, $6.75, yeah.
Mhm.
So if,
Mike, what's your thoughts?
Not everything has to be doom and gloom. That's where I'm at, you know. There's a body here that needs to work out the details, of the situation, and some people are gonna have to give a little one way, and some are gonna have to give the other way. But we gotta come up with a solution, and it's not all doom and gloom, oh, we gotta do it tonight, we gotta get it, no. We gotta look it up. You know, we need to look at, are we spending money we don't need to be spending? I don't know. We do, you know, what are all the aspects of this whole thing? That's gonna cost residents of this community more and more money.
I agree. I think the other part of it is though too, inflation and the increased cost in the last 13 years, the village has not kept up with that. I mean, we just have not. We have not kept up with it. And unfortunately, we're where we're at today, and we've got to do something. So, you know, it may sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my face, but I'm not. I'm trying to look at it from both sides of the fence and say, how do we come up with a plan, a proposal that we can do? And
When RCAP did this study after the 5 years, that put us in a really tangible spot that probably 3 to 5% increase every year for quite some time is going to be tangible. If we veer from that, which is fine, be known that after our 5 years, there's probably not going to be another increase. It's going to have to be increased because we haven't kept up.
the increase isn't going to stop. I mean, that's even in the ordinance.
But
it's going to increase 3% every year. It may be more than that. Yeah, it may be more than that.
Because most of the funds aren't where they need to be. Whether it's RCAP saying that, whether it's Ohio EPA saying that, or just us in the office looking at the numbers saying they're not what I want.
Wasn't something said that if we did not do increasing, or we did not get into where we needed to go, EPA is not going to be able to give us the funding
We've already run into that there's certain funding that
that we are losing,
if you're not charging,
a certain percent
yes,
of what we have.
then you do not qualify for that.
Correct. So we are, technically, we're going to be further in the red if we don't do something, unfortunately, now, and then smaller increases. Because what if a storm comes through and wipes us out? We have nothing for the residents. And if we don't have the funds to replace or do things, we are going to be a problem here at in this village. They're not going to have water, and they're not going to have sewer, and then what's going to happen? So you don't buy extra cereal that you don't need for the month to affect your water and your sewer, or you don't let your water run extra while you're brushing your teeth, or you don't water your yard this year because you know the increases are coming. We've given enough time frame now that people can start saving a little extra every month, knowing this is your base rate and this is going to be the end.
And what would happen, I took the 675, which would be the difference for the first year, okay? And the 240, which would be the increase in 2020. Divided that, added it together, divided in half. What if we did a $4.57 raise in the first year and a $4.57 raise in 2028, and then carried that across? That would take the raise from 26 to 27 to $29.57, so keep it under the $30.
And then add $4 to it for 28. Is that correct?
Yeah, then add just divide I took the total changes for 27 and 28, added them together, divided them by 2. So I don't know what the percentages are, but the increase would be 457 for 2027.
Is that for, water?
Just water.
Yeah, that'd be around 18-something%.
I don't know the percentages here. And then 457 and 28, and then just carried the chart the same all the way across, and we're just lightening the load a little bit on that first year.
So you're saying, okay, I'm trying to,
No.
please forgive me. So you're saying like the first year, 457, the second year, 457,
Right.
just for water, because sewers have to be much different.
Yeah, sewer's a different animal, we haven't even talked about that.
And you said how much for the next year?
Just leave it the same then. The chart wouldn't change after that.
So every year it'd be 457?
No, the only changes would be in 27 and 28.
457 for 27, 28, and then we go back to schedule on 29,
Right,
30.
then we go back to what
Okay,
you
so that'd
proposed.
be 296, but we have to look at the new one, sorry, I was doing all this late.
It would be 240, the increase in in 29 would be 240, and 30 would be 240, and 31 would be 240, so that would stay the same. We'd still end up with a 65% total change overall, that $11 or $16.35. But we've lightened it in that first year, and we've kept it below $30. For some reason, that makes sense to me, that it'd be less than $30.
It'd be an easier adjustment for.
And we're still doing the same thing.
Still doing the
It's
same
just a
thing, but easier adjustment.
It's a dollar and some odd cents difference.
I'll say this, let's, on the water side, if that's kind of what council's thoughts are, going, look.
That's my thought. I don't know what these guys said. I'm just doing the numbers based on what I have.
Unless anybody else has any ideas on the water, I'd say push it back to committee on the water side. Let us look at the numbers and see once that gets us where we want to be, Nathan.
Can I say something real quick? I don't know that this council has done this before, but in Ohio, you can meet as a committee of the whole. That's perfectly legal to do. I'm gonna just briefly read some of my notes here, but this is a meeting where all members of the city council gather together to discuss matters such as this, before council takes a full vote. Now, you still have to comply with the open meeting laws. You still have to it has to be open to the public, and advance notice has to be given. But this is a type of meeting where what you guys are discussing tonight, you're talking about all this stuff, and you're not taking any votes, you're not doing anything like that. But if council were to elect to do a committee of the whole, then you all can be part of that conversation and work all this out. And then at the next regularly scheduled council meeting, conduct business. Because the comment was made, we haven't started on sewer. We could be here till 10 o'clock tonight discussing this in a normal council meeting. Whereas if you had a committee as a whole, you have that ability. Folks can come in. It becomes kind of a forum if you allow public speaking, that type of thing. Just a thought. It's your meeting, but at this point, you guys are so far into the weeds. Even the Facebook people, I think, probably dropped off now. But that allows, instead of sending it back to the utilities committee meeting and then just come back here and say, well, you guys discussed this, but we all didn't. Why not have a committee of the whole?
Like a special meeting?
It would be, you would call it as a committee of the whole meeting, but it still has to comply to the open records laws. You just there would not be a vote taken.
So what would be the difference of having a special meeting?
On a special meeting, you could take action.
Why not just have a
You
special meeting?
could do that, if that's the sole purpose, yeah.
Like I say, this needs to be worked out, and
Right.
we need to do it, as soon as possible.
Right,
So if we have to have a special meeting, that's what we do,
right. I think to Aaron's point, it's been to committee 2 or 3 times. If you keep sending it back to committee,
Right.
and it keeps coming back here, and the committee agrees on one thing, but the people that aren't in the committee aren't agreeing, you're kicking that can down the road, so to speak. So if you have a meeting for the sole purpose of discussing this, then you can get into the nitty gritty, into weeds, and figure it all out. And then if you decide to call it for a vote or table it until the next meeting to have a vote, whatever. But again, this could take. This is a regular scheduled meeting, and I think the mayor tried to move it along, but it's an important conversation to have. It just needs its own time dedicated for this, because it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Table would, if I had an opinion on it, I would think that the committee as a whole would make more sense to hash it out and then bring it to council at the regular meeting. I don't believe there's a reason to have a special meeting in the time frame that we're at.
The only difference is, and I'll say this, will the committee as a whole be broadcast? And not that people are going to understand this, but they need to hear us talk about it. And the committee as a whole is not going to be broadcast on
It
Facebook.
can be.
Isn't it open?
It's open to the public,
The
yeah.
public can come here and tell me
Yeah,
that.
I'm not working.
And it can be set up to where it can be recorded. If I'm not able to be here to run the live stream, we can turn the microphone on and tape delay it and put it out on YouTube and Facebook. That's not an issue.
What do you think?
I agree.
The whole council, the whole meeting?
I think the question is,
Why don't we just have a special meeting? What's,
No special meeting cost like, you know, but
Committee of the whole, council
Committee
doesn't
meeting.
get paid for the meeting.
Yeah.
Special meeting, council gets paid.
yeah.
That's the difference.
Well, I think everybody knows where everybody stands on this right now. So I think we should either have at the next meeting or a special meeting, we know where everybody stands, let's give and take and make this thing work and get the first reading done at that point and move it forward.
Either a committee of the whole or a special meeting. Again, the only difference is
The
whether or not.
committee of whole. is the one
Whether,
that-
if council, if you do a committee of the whole, you're not gonna take a vote. If you do, and council doesn't get paid because it's a committee meeting, it's not an actual council meeting. If you do a special meeting,
No,
you can take a vote, and then
that's
council
the
will
issue.
get paid. I mean, yeah, or your count, you guys aren't making millions, so that's counting.
my question that I'm not sure I can find out from the solicitor is, if we have a special council meeting and pass first reading, and it only goes 2 weeks till the next meeting, can we have second reading that quick? Or does it have to be 30 days?
I don't believe there's a time for,
No.
you'd wanna clarify that with the solicitor, but, I don't believe there's a time frame because our past practices allowed us to
Yeah,
pass
actually,
things
you wouldn't
either as an
have
emergency
to have-
or.
you would have to have the second reading at the next full council meeting, because we don't have that time frame. We could not put it on the business for that next meeting and have the second reading the following month. So if we had a special council meeting in
That's no
July,
pass, pass August though.
well, it wouldn't. If we had a special meeting in July, then we had a regular July council meeting.
But then you can't have a second reading, the regular council meeting in July, can you? Could you?
You could, that's what I'm saying, that's
You
what I'm
could,
saying.
absolutely.
But we could still have the second reading in August, the third reading in September, and still be within the 60-day window to do it in 2027.
So what you might do, you gotta have a special meeting?
And I believe if there is a special meeting, council meeting, it has to be said what it's for, and it can't vary off of it.
No, it would
Yeah, you have
be
to-
solely for rates and,
Yeah.
that
Same with
would
the
be all
committee
we
as a whole.
discuss.
You need to discuss, you need to identify what it's for.
I guess my question would be, if we're having a special meeting, and to Margie's comments about getting information to the committee or to this company that's done the rate study, I think that those of us that have ideas should put them in writing, give them to Aaron, so that he can get them to whoever's doing the charts, update the charts, so that the special meeting, we would have our packets before, right? We would have the information before, right, Sarah? And then we would be able to sit down and have numbers and discussion. Does that make sense? You guys,
I'm personally better with that, but give us what
Yeah.
questions you have in writing so we can get those answers for you. Because there's some questions that came up today that I'm like, where did this come from? Because we
Well, I
haven't
think it
heard
all
that.
stems from there's certain individuals that say, let's just go ahead and do it at this rate. And then there's other individuals within this room that are thinking, no, let's don't do that, let's do it, in sections, or do half now, half later, or some form. We just need to decide
Which way we're going.
which way we're going.
I don't think there's anyone in this room that does not agree that we have to raise the rates.
Exactly.
I don't think there's anybody here sitting that says we don't. I do believe we have a division on how those rates need to be increased over time. That's the question. That's the debate we're having, and it's a good debate. And so, in that regard, based on what you're saying in terms of getting information, let's get information to Aaron or Sarah, whoever is communicating with this
Melody.
this,
Will she have time, what was?
our CAP company that's doing the numbers,
I don't believe
so they can put it in, we have it, we can have
No.
Okay,
a discussion.
okay.
We can look at the
I'm not,
study,
yeah,
we
I'm
can
talking there and listening. to
break
you.
those numbers down, and
But yes,
at the end of the day, it's what we see,
we decide.
what those we have.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And because it's what we're doing.
We need to get those
That's
questions.
still good,
to them.
And she doesn't know what our bills are.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
does, but
Uh-huh.
I would make a motion that we table any ordinance, both ordinances, we have to do them one at a time. That we table ordinance 26-1-2 at this time.
You gonna table both one business at this
And I
time?
do one at a
Okay.
time, Bob, you can't do them.
Do it 26,
So I make a
1?
motion that we table ordinance 26-1-2. That's the water.
That'd be the sewer.
That's the water, that's water. 2 is sewer.
Yeah, you need,
Oh,
you need water.
22-1.
26, 1.
I'm sorry, yes, this is,
Davidson,
yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Hume,
Yes,
Nichols,
yes.
Rydnor,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
I make a motion that we table ordinance 26-1-2.
Second it.
Miller, did you second that?
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're good. Davidson?
No.
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hume,
yes,
Nichols,
Yes.
Rydnor,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
And I'd like to say something to council as a whole. Thank you for the professional, lively debate that we just had, because that's what our residents expect us to do. If we all agreed all the time, we wouldn't be doing our job. So thank you.
Any other old business? Okay, new business. Resolution 26-6-1, resource officer.
I've lost my agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 26-6-1, resource school officer, declare an emergency.
Like second.
Davidson,
yes,
Miller,
Yes.
Rydnor,
Yes.
Hume,
yes,
Nichols,
Yes,
Walty.
Yes.
Get a motion to, first, or can I get a motion to accept it, or, yeah, motion to let it, emergency. Yeah.
oh, to declare an emergency, you have to declare an emergency first.
we already did.
No, it is a emergency.
Okay, so I'll make a motion we adopt resolution 26-6-1, establishing the school resource officer.
Second.
Davidson,
yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Hume,
yes,
Nichols,
Yes.
Rydnor,
Yes.
Walty.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nathan, before we adopt resolution 26-6-2, can you just give a brief explanation of it, or, I know we had it in our packet.
Yeah, I'll give you an explanation, I'll brief it a leak because I'm pretty passionate about it.
Okay.
But, the South CSAM Act of 2025 is a bipartisan, comprehensive legislative response to sexual exploitation of children. Long story short is, I went to Washington DC the first part of June to speak on how important it is to hold the tech companies accountable when it comes to production, dissemination, and selling of child porn across their platforms. And this is a bipartisan supported bill, like I said. The Senate has passed it unanimously, which is highly unusual, with both Republicans and Democrats out of the Senate Judiciary Committee. It awaits a full vote by the Senate. They are currently waiting to vote because the House of Representatives still has it in their committee, and the bill is still working its way through the House Judiciary Committee. Where I come in is I've been asked to kind of hit the ground and try to encourage people to support our legislators, in this case it would be Congressman Jim Jordan, to bring the bill to a vote before the House Judiciary Committee. That would then signal to the Senate, hey, the House is on board, the Senate's on board, let's vote to push this through. We know that 1 in 8 children worldwide have been subjected to online sexual exploitation or abuse, according to a study published by Childlike Global Child Safety Institute. We also know that in 2025 alone, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received 21.3 million cyber tip line reports of suspected online child exploitation, with more than 61.8 million files. That's just in the United States. Worldwide, it's even more. We also know that there are tech platforms in the United States that are allowing live streaming of children being sexually abused across their platforms. And currently there's no law in place to stop them from allowing that. And so what this law would do is it would do a couple of things. It would allow for the victims of these sexual abuse situations to hold the tech companies accountable if they knowingly allow this activity to go across their platforms. It would also, through the civil act of lawsuits, would essentially allow the tech companies or force the tech companies to do something they can already do, and that's prevent the dissemination, production, and selling of child sexual abuse material across their platforms before it even happens. So if somebody, for instance, and this is deep, but if somebody were to record a child being raped on a live stream, or doing a live stream of a child being raped, the platforms already have, through AI and their tech abilities, to stop that from going out. They can end the live stream, they can prevent the images from going out to begin with, and but they're not doing it. They're not doing it because they're not told that they have to do it. Big tech such as like Snapchat, Google, Meta, Discord, those companies, they make money based on views, likes, subscribes, all that kind of stuff, and they are essentially policing themselves. Where this really helps law enforcement is this act would require these tech companies to provide usable data that's not encrypted to law enforcement within 60 days. Currently, I can send a subpoena to Snapchat. I've done this before, and it can take not 90 days, it can take 9 months to get usable information. And the Stop CSAM Act would greatly limit what the time frame that they have to report that to us, to provide the information once we do send a subpoena or search warrant, and it would also, again, give us usable information that isn't encrypted, that we don't have to hire somebody to try to decrypt all their codes that they're sending to us. So that's a long story short. I'm asking council to consider passing a resolution, because this, again, I can then use this, and I'm going to talk to our school board as well, use this as momentum to put a little bit of pressure on Congressman Jordan and some other senators and House Representative members to bring this to a vote and to move it forward. Still got a long ways to go before it becomes law, but this is something I can do. I've talked with several of my law enforcement colleagues that they're going to jump on board as well. And I've also got a contact of someone who's been trafficked both online and in person that's from Waynesfield County, that's willing to jump on this as well. So I'm asking council to consider passing this to continue to add to the momentum, basically show that the Waynesfield community as their representatives supports this bill and getting it passed.
I make a motion, we adopt resolution 26-6-2 and declare an emergency.
I second.
Davidson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Hume?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Reinhardt?
Yes.
Wolfson?
Yes.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 26-6-2.
Second.
Davidson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Hume?
Yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Reinhardt?
Yes.
Wolfson?
Yes.
Any other new business?
Thank you very much, too, by the way.
I'll entertain motion to adjourn.
We're gonna schedule a special meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Works for everybody.
Thinking July, maybe like the eighth,
July 13th?
July
13th.
Well, Mondays are you wanna do it on a normal meeting night, or you wanna do it on a Wednesday, or what do you wanna do? 13th would be the second Monday of July,
Sounds good to me.
Which may,
and then the 27th, that would be 2 weeks before our normal scheduled council meeting. Does that work for you, Margie?
I'll take a look, see here.
And what time, same time?
6:30, same time?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Well, do we have to make a motion to have that meeting, or can we just,
I don't think
we just have to,
No,
just,
you
plan-
Just we haven't said.
just that we have it set up? Okay,
The mayor just said it, can't.
Yeah, the mayor can set it, or two council members can set it, since you're all in here.
okay, all right. Just wanna do it according to order.
Second.
Yeah.
Who first did, sorry.
Doesn't matter.
To adjourn?
Right
Oh,
now.
adjourn,
Okay.
right now, and then 10.
Yeah.
Okay, who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you.
Oh, and do we, I know we've
David
adjourned
did.
already, but
Oh.
the reason will be solely to discuss water and sewer rates.
Davidson?
Yeah, that has to be on the
Mhm.
Discussion, yes.
Miller?
application.
Hughes?
Yes.
Miller, say yes.
Nichols?
Yes.
Rydor?
Yes.
Wolfie?
Yes.
Let's leave it at that.
We already cleared it.
Yeah.
Okay.